Hey, today's habitat tip is going to talk about something that I've used on my farm for a number of years with great results. And that's the use of green fire breaks in my habitat projects. And we're going to talk about how to get great results for growing pheasant and quail chicks, providing pollinator habitat, and giving me a tool that allows me to safely and effectively use prescribed fire in my management plans. The primary purpose of a green fire break is to allow me to use safe and effective prescribed fire on here when I want to manage this property. Maybe in this habitat project next year I want to burn this half of the project, but I don't want to burn this half of the project, so that I get a rotation of what my vegetation looks like. That's great habitat right there. Well, in order to help us apply fire here, we plant this green fire break to fire-resistant vegetation. That means at the time of the year when we want to put fire down, this is going to be green and succulent and shorter vegetation. Less likely to burn, more likely to help me control where fire goes. If wildlife is one of the objectives that you have on your property like I do, then a green fire break can really serve a dual purpose. The plants that we're going to use to establish this green fire break attract the exact components that make up the dinner plate of our growing pheasant and quail chicks. And that is small, soft-bodied insects. And those types of insects are attracted to the green and succulent material that we're going to have throughout the entire year in this green fire break. Let's run a sweep net through this green fire break so we can look at the types of small, soft-bodied insects that we find in this kind of a habitat project. When we look in the sweep net, we see lots of small caterpillars, aphids, and other small-bodied insects that are needed by chicks. As much as 90% of their diet needs to contain the high proteins that they're getting from insects. Without a habitat that both attracts insects like this and is in a structure that chicks can navigate through, we simply won't have the chick survival rates that we want and need from our habitat projects. Another management objective of green fire breaks is they can serve as areas where broods go to early in the morning on days with a heavy dew on the grasses. The fire breaks can serve as shorter cover where the broods can go forage for insects and dry off until the dew has evaporated for the day. Green fire breaks are usually planted with a combination of legumes, things like alfalfa, Dutch clover, crimson clover, red clover, bird's foot trefoil, ladino clover, things that are going to be greening up very early in the spring. One of the management objectives of green fire breaks is to allow us to rotate the prescribed fire that we apply to the project. In this example, we've taken our project and we've used a green fire break to divide it into 6 different sections, 1 section being burned per year. At the end of 6 years, we will have this project in 6 different stages of natural succession and development, and that provides the diversity that is key to great wildlife habitat. Some of the guidelines for designing a green fire break include plant it in mid-August or very early in the spring. The width of your green fire break should be 5 to 10 times the height of the fuel next to it. In most cases, probably around 30 feet wide. And we want to use vegetation that will be non-volatile fuels in the spring when we're conducting our fire. And that means we want things that will be greening up early in the spring like legumes. Another nice thing about green fire breaks is we can get cost share to use them and establish them in our habitat projects. Some of the USDA conservation programs that actually provide a cost share to establish green fire breaks are the Conservation Reserve Program, the Continuous Conservation Reserve Program, the Environmental Quality Incentives Program, the Wetland Reserve Program, and the Conservation Stewardship Program. Then lots of times there's also incentives available with state wildlife agencies, and don't forget to check with your local Pheasants Forever and Quail Forever chapter for incentives from them as well. Contact a Pheasants Forever biologist and we will design a green firebreak mixture for your property to maximize wildlife benefits and allow you to conduct a safe and effective prescribed fire in the future. If you want to put prescribed fire into your future management plans, or you want to have the best possible food sources for your growing pheasant and quail chicks, or maybe you want to have great honeybee, native pollinator, monarch butterfly habitat, this could be one of the best options available for you. Putting a green firebreak into your next project, that's great habitat.